Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Merry Christmas, and we are going to build a Christmas tree today inside of Grasshopper. I got the inspiration from a post on a Chinese social media. I want to thank to the original author, and I've put the original post down in the description. Please check that. So first of all, I'm going to change this display mode back to shaded, and then I am going to open a new document. First thing first, I will generate a series of number, and then I'm going to call it pi. I'm going to use, let's say, 8 as the periods of pi, and then I'm going to use division to get the step. I'm planning to use 100 points, bring it in, and then put it in here for the series. And of course, we want a 100 number. The next thing I will do is I will use sine, and of course, I will use cosine. As you know, sine squared plus cosine squared equals r squared. So we're going to use this to generate a spiral. I'm going to come back to vector x, y. Is circle is ready. And then let's put the z value here, which is this. So we can see we generate a spiral here. Of course, we can change the number a little bit by using remap. So I'm going to come over here. The target value should be, let's say, 12. And then I'm going to put it here. The next thing I will do is I will make the top small and bottom bigger. So in order to do that, I can use a scale. What I can do is I will select this, go to vector, and use this also. Just get the z value, so get the center point for each point at the z direction. So we're going to use this as the center of scaling. Those are the things we want to scale them. And the default scaling factor is 0.5. We want to use this number right here. But of course, the target will be different. So we will use, let's say, vector 0.99 888, bring it in, and bring it in. So right now, there's a error here because it says cannot scale with factor 0. That's because the first value is 0. So we can change that by just put a non-zero value here. So that error will be fixed. And of course, we can lower the value and we can hide everything else. You will see that this is reversed. So in order to fix that, I can just come over here, expression. Sorry, I'll change to reverse and we fix that. We can change it. Perfect. So the next thing I want to do is I will make a curve. What I can do is I will come over here, use the interpolate. I'll bring the curve in, and then I will start to cut them into random points. Oh, actually, I don't even need to generate this curve first. I will select random series of points here. And in order to do it, I will use random. The number will be from 0 to 100. So list length 100. And of course, we don't want to select the last few numbers because we want to start from this number and the number keep going to make some curves. So we don't want to start from the last few points. So I will subtract 3 here. The next thing I'll do is I will generate another random number, but rather it will be like 20. So it's like the longest curves that we're going to generate in between will have 20 points. So, and let's make like 60 curves. So right here also, we're going to use integer here because we're going to select the index, and the index has to be an integer. Then I will come over to series. This is a starting point, and this is the counter. So we will get 60 different types of series. And then we're going to come over to sets, index, plugin, and the points will be plugging here. And then we will make interpolate curves. Right. And of course, because, for example, if we select this point, you will try to connect up to here. So we're going to turn off this Boolean. So list item is all good. And then it says insufficient interpolation. That means some area we have less than 3 points because the range is from 0 to 20. So I'm going to come over here and I can make the minimum number to be 3. But actually it's fine because it doesn't matter. It's just a warning, not really an error. So now we got a bunch of different curves. And then we are going to use these curves. We are going to move them for random height in the z direction. So now you see it looks like there's just one curve, but when you zoom in, you realize that there are multiple curves overlapping with each other. So I'm going to move them up into the air with different height. I'm going to type in random also. And again, we want to have 60 random values. So I'm going to come over here, use this 60 to plug it in. And the value we will make maybe 2.222 and something close to 0.8, and then we're going to plug it in. So now let's look at the data structure. Right here, sublist, right here, flatten. So let's flatten this data. Okay, so we got this. Perfect. Maybe we can make this bigger. And we can change the seed. Perfect. So lower this a little bit. And I can hide everything else. The next thing I want to do is I will scale them. So I'll type in scale. I'll select this geometries, and then the center of scaling will be the same thing as we used earlier. I'm going to come over to vector. I'm going to get this pair, and then I will go to curves. I will find the center point for each of those curves. So those are the center of scaling. I'll bring it in, and the factor will be another random set of number. So again, I will just use this. Great. And then we can put another x times x here for different seed. The next thing I will do, again, I will hide everything else. So this is the lines we got. We can just move this into the year. Again, same thing with another set of random number right here. I'm going to change the expression times 2 here, just to make sure that we have different sets of seed. Probably doesn't really matter. And this is a number we have down. So we're going to keep doing that. We're going to move them up into the year for another set of number. This time it's probably going to be smaller, 0.3 to 0, something like that. And then we are going to divide them into different points. So the next thing I will do is I will connect them together into this structure, and then I will loft them. The reason that I didn't just loft those curves together is because sometimes they overlap and the loft won't be successful. So this is much better. I'm gonna hide everything, and this is kind of strips that we are trying to get. And of course, if you think that's too crazy, we can change them vertically, and we can change this value to make them thinner. Okay, and if you think that this is too scarce, we can just change the thickness of those curves. We can make it like 100, even more right later. So I'm going to put it here because this is a very important number. Put it right here. The next thing I will do is I will give a color to it. So I will go to costume preview, bring this in, and I will use a gradient color right here. I will check this one, bring it in, and of course I will use a series number. We have 100 items here. I will choose list item, sorry, list length, and bring it in. Bring those values here. Bring this value in. And let's see. Okay, so we have to flat this first. Perfect. Now we get this. Maybe I don't like this yellow color. Okay, I think this is much better. And then we can change things around. So I'm going to come over here, make much more strips around. Let's do probably 500. And then you can see that those strips are getting shorter because we are like just saying it's 20 points long. Now it's 500 points, so we should change that. So we're going to increase this number also. Let's make it like 300. 400 as our maximum value. Okay, so this looks better. And also, if you think that the gaps in between is too much, like too big, we can also change the input numbers here for the scaling factor. And also, we can change the random number here. Perfect. Also, random numbers around will work. Then let's check the pi. We can change it to 10. So check the height. Great. So this looks better. The next thing I will do is let me check the other important factors, such as the bottom radius. I'm going to increase this to, let's say, 3. And you can see that those strips are spreading far away. I think looks great. And if you want to change that, you can change the scale factor right here. you can lower this. So if it's closer to 1, they are going to get closer to each other. But if you change it to like 1.6, they are going to be more spread out. Of course, I will check the points one more time, make it like 700 and increase it a little bit more. And I want to see more strips here. So I will make it like 200 or let's say 500. So this tree looks denser. And again, I can change the height a little bit more by using this number. I think 8 will be better. But of course, this is just aesthetic thing. And then the next thing I will do is I will get this star that I made earlier. I think it's necessary to really model this in this tutorial. So I'm going to just drag it in. Of course, I will select it and then bring it in, custom the color by using color picker. So great. And I will change the color a little bit to a golden color. Looks better. Bring it in, bring the object in. Great. Hide this. And hide this. The next thing I will do is I will populate those stars all over the tree. Actually, what I can do is I will select this star and move them around, and I will move to the center of those curves or the lower end, whatever it works. So right here, there are a bunch of curves that we will be able to generate. And we are just going to select those curves and choose random amount of them. So list length again, bring it in, bring this in from 0 to 483. I'm going to pick up like 22 of them. And again, integer, bring it in, and then just select those items. So I am going to select those curves, and here are the curves. So we have 22 of those curves. I'm just going to go to curve, select the center point. After getting the center point, we are just going to move them. So we're going to move those stars to those points, vector 2 points. Those are the tip. And this star's center point will be the starting point for those vectors. I'm just going to go to this, bring this in, 22 vectors. So, and we have too many here. I'm just going to leave them there for a second. I'm going to scale them out just a little bit. Scale. So the center point again will be here. Well, actually, we will just use this point. So I'm going to come over to vector. Same method. Scale them. to 1.222. And then rotate them. Scale them again, actually. Bring them in. And the scaling factor will just be the center of each of the stars. So I'm going to use this. Factor will be random. Will be list item, list length, sorry. Print here, number. And so we have 22 numbers, I guess. Oh, scale factor is 0 to 1 is perfect. So 0.22. Great. So the star scaling factor will be right here. We can make them much smaller, and I'll hide the ones that I just moved. The next thing I will do is I will give them some random color. And before that, I will also rotate them. Again, a random number. So it will be 360 to 0. And this will take radius. So like this. Okay. And again, random color. One more time. We'll choose those. Bring them in right here. One more time. Bring those in. Bring those in. Hide everything else. And we can change the presets for the colors. Maybe rainbow color. So that's it. I'm going to change the background of this environment. Check everything else. Make sure that I have turned off the unnecessary layers. So this is a star. This is decoration, and this is a tree. Okay, so I will hide everything else. Okay, of course, this is full parametric. You can just change things around as long as you want to. And I wish you have a great Christmas. And I wish you and your family have a great holidays together. Thank you so much.